Briefly, I tell you that APAC, American Pakistani Public Committee, was founded in 2017. Our main mission was to bring Pakistani Americans to a political process because we are very successful in America, but not successful in politics. So that's what we were doing. Also, we want to bridge relations between Pakistan and the United States. So whenever, as you pointed out earlier, that there is a federal government-to-government relations up and down, and there is a geopolitical situation always affecting us. So we had reached out to our friend and mentor, Deputy Speaker of New York State Assembly, Phil Reynolds, who advised that we should probably do that at state level. So we came back in October, and thanks to Phil Reynolds, this is his second trip in 8 months. In October, November, when we came, we met different people, and then we decided to do cooperation between New York State and Punjab and New York State and Singh. So with our APAC delegation, we went back, and New York State Assembly passed a resolution, which is the intention to work with both provinces. So a resolution was passed, and now we came back, and now we went to Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore, and now in Islamabad, meeting different departments and ministers, and consolidating whatever vision we thought about it. I'm going to ask Phil to talk about this a little bit more. And thank you very much, everyone, for coming and giving us opportunity. And thank you especially to Phil Biden.
Thank you so much. Thank you for welcoming me into your club. Still working. Thank you for welcoming me into your club, and for that celebration outside of our 4th of July. Which signifies the independence of our country. And that independence, that 4th of July, represents freedom, represents freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and one of the most important is freedom of the press. That I know that we all stand for that, and the press throughout the world is the conscience of every society. You are the conscience of every society. You're the one that holds us, government, accountable. You're the ones who protect your citizens of your respective countries. So I want to thank you, and I tell you, I applaud your work throughout the world and your suffrage as well. I know that work, good work, has come with sacrifice. We come here today, and we are euphoric, actually, because this is the culmination, and not really the culmination, but one stage of the culmination of work that's taken over a decade. Approximately a decade ago, the vision of Dr. Ahmad to create an organization that would help Pakistani Americans and as well help Pakistan, the country that witnessed their birth. And they tried to figure out how can we do this? And a group of prominent Pakistani Muslims from United States got together, and we met at that time and helped organize, and we started talking about how to reach our goals. And I remember the discussion was that you can't just form an organization and now that organization is going to have influence over U.S. policy or Pakistani policy. This organization to the point where they have the power to really influence some positive change. So they set out to do that. And few organizations have I ever seen that have over a decade methodically, state by state, created chapters, state by state, engaged their elected officials, state by state, even raised money and been responsible for elected officials getting elected at all levels, including making a Muslim Supreme Court judge, federal judge in the United States as a result of this organization. All those years of work got to the point where recently they were ready for prime time. They were ready to come down and make a difference. My suggestion was realizing the fact that the relationship between the United States and Pakistan has been one where Pakistan has been a great friend, has helped us many times, but sometimes because of geopolitics, things happening in the region, sometimes the United States would come and ask something of Pakistan that was difficult politically to deliver. And then the relationship would sour. and it would be on and off again, and that would affect other things. That would affect the amount of people immigrating, that would affect confidence, lack of confidence in trade or investments. It had, a lot of negative effects. So we came up with the idea that, this idea was based on a constitutional right. Remember, United States, every state used to be a country. Before we formed the United States, New York was a country with its own executive, that was the governor, with its own Congress, with its own Senate. And when they decided to unite all these countries that were states, they agreed that we would unite only on the condition that we retain sovereignty to be able to negotiate trade deals, to be able to deal with other countries, and to be able to reach agreements. And that today exists, that right. So the idea was to come down with New York State to pass a sister state resolution which declares New York State's desire to do business and to have cooperation with Pakistan. Now realize that the budget of New York State is approximately the same size as the budget of all of Pakistan. So we identified the areas of education, economic development, and health. And we came down here and we started planting the seeds of this idea. That this was last October. We came here and we started speaking to your officials, speaking about this idea of state to state. Because the idea was that if we can be successful in creating this relationship and creating trade and create educational exchanges and work on these different things, that if we could be successful, then we could replicate this in every state. Could you imagine if our budget is equal, one state is equal to that of Pakistan, could you imagine 50 states all doing business with Pakistan, all purchasing from Pakistan, all